I am ranking every era in Star Wars from worst to best. Now, I do want to clarify there are some ground rules I do want to cover. The first one being that all the eras that I am talking about are from the official Lucasfilm/Star Wars website. The names and the years that these eras take place in are all based off of Lucasfilm themselves rather than fan input. Number two, I'm ranking this based on how the media explores the era rather than the media itself. So I'm not ranking this based off of the quality of the movies, shows, whatever. I'm ranking it based off of how well the movies and shows explore and expand on the era. So Star Wars has 9 distinct eras, but 3 of them don't really have anything in them yet, so there's only 6. And for the sake of simplicity, I'm not including the Old Republic, because even though yes, it is a game that's still going on right now, it's not technically canon, but some of the stuff is. But for the sake of simplicity, I'm not including it. With all that groundwork out of the way, I know there's a lot of groundwork here, but with all that out of the way, what is last place? In last place, 6th place, we have Rise of the First Order. Basically, it's a sequel trilogy. Everything in this era did an awful job at exploring the time period. The sequel trilogy, like I said, also did a terrible job of differentiating itself from other eras like the original trilogy, so it mainly just feels like a remake of that rather than its own thing. The era is so bare bones that if you were to go up to any casual Star Wars fan on the street or just online or even your own parents and ask them, why is the Resistance and First Order at war? Most likely they won't know, and that's because none of the visual media says why, and you have to look up a comic book or just a regular novelization to find out why, which is really horrible storytelling. 5th place, we have the High Republic. Now, this isn't a terrible era, but it has nothing exciting in it because it's in a peaceful time and nothing really can contradict the prequel trilogy, so the storytelling can sometimes feel convoluted in some of the media. The only thing that this era has going for it, which I think is really cool, is to see the Jedi in a completely different time, where they have different customs and how they are used/received in the galaxy. For example, in the Acolyte, you see Jedi on different planets, and even in the Young Jedi Adventures, the preschool show, which does a much better job at exploring the Jedi than the Acolyte does, surprisingly, but it shows the Jedi, from the episodes I've seen, it shows them on different planets being the heroes of the galaxy and protecting their own sector of the galaxy with their own planets to protect. And the High Republic does have potential to become notable, but I highly doubt that Lucasfilm or current day Lucasfilm will ever let that happen. I just don't think it will. They'll just mess it up somehow. So, the High Republic, 5th place. Number 4, we have the New Republic. Now, I'm giving this era the benefit of the doubt, because it is not finished yet. Most of, well, actually all of the New Republic so far is on Disney+. So, and they're telling this multi-media story with all these shows. So, like I said, I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. It is not finished yet. But the content that we do have right now, it has its moments of world building, but because of the Disney Plus formula, it makes the shows sometimes feel dull, hurting the storytelling of what the creators and writers are trying to say about this time period, because they are working on something cohesive. It's just, right now, like I said, with the Disney Plus formula, it doesn't really work 100% of the time. There are some episodes in Mandalorian, the Ahsoka show, Book of Boba Fett, that are interesting and do explore the time and world building, but at the same time you have other episodes that kinda don't do that and they're just there as filler. And I'm not trying to say that they have to constantly do world building. I'm just saying in terms of trying to create a cohesive story and making the time period more interesting, some episodes do that while other episodes don't, and it actually hurts what they're trying to go for. 3rd place, we have Reign of the Empire, and I just want to say this includes Rogue One. Like I said, this is from Star Wars themselves saying this, not myself, so even though it may sound weird, Rogue One is part of the Reign of the Empire time period. This is how it is. Anyways, this era is very interesting in how it shows the Empire through the many different perspectives, including Jedi, clones, smugglers, and the regular people. Now, this is the most full era of content because of how easy it is to tell stories. On top of that, Disney Star Wars has explored / expanded how the Empire works, including new sub-factions like the Inquisitors and the ISB. Making new enemies for every type of character is a genius move for endless storytelling, so I really do like this era, and it is one of my favorites. Second place is Age of Rebellion, and the reason why it's second place is mainly because of the original trilogy, and how it explores and expands the galaxy in just 3 movies. But besides that, alongside showing Luke becoming a Jedi and redeeming his father, it shows the rebellion slowly beating the Empire and becoming a new republic. This also includes the games and how it shows how the Empire is reacting to that, giving it more depth. This era of Star Wars will forever be remembered as it's basically the start of Star Wars itself, so of course it's going to be second place, but first place is way more interesting to me. Number 1, we have Fall of the Jedi. Not only does this era expand and explore the galaxy lore and era perfectly, but it also tells a tragic story of the downfall of the Jedi and the Republic in one cohesive story across 3 movies, 7 seasons of a show, and a bunch of shorts. The Clone Wars is the main reason why this era is number 1, because it takes lore from the prequel trilogy and uses it to not only enhance its own story, but connect everything together, making one big story. George Lucas knew what he was doing with the prequel trilogy, and it does stand the test of time, as the story even now, decades later, is timeless. People still relate to the story of the prequel trilogy and how tragic it is, and I just had to make it number 1 because I keep coming back to this era of Star Wars. Whether we're watching the Clone Wars show or rewatching the prequel trilogy, you know, this is a time period that everyone still talks about to this day, and that's because it is so damn interesting to explore and talk about, even, like I said, to this day. Like I said, there's only 6 distinct eras in Star Wars right now. I may do another one of these once new content comes out for the other 3 eras, or I guess 2, because, like I said, the Old Republic probably will never get content officially in canon. It's one of those weird things, but, you know, we'll see. But if you guys enjoyed, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. I'm gonna go now, so goodbye, everyone.